We just finished.
So we just finished this podcast. It's a little mellow. I'm not gonna lie
Chill
to you.
one. Very informative. Pretty fun though, still nonetheless.
One part may cut to black for a little bit. I apologize. I'm probably gonna cut out some of me talking about my shit. Keep the red stuff in
It's
there.
all good.
We'll see. We'll see how much of it is black. But
We also, since we have one camera now, we're gonna talk about it. But the next set that we do, we'll probably have 2 cameras.
yes.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Depending on what
We'll see
why
what
day.
happens.
But we just wanted to do a quick one here. Anyway, time codes to everything we talk about will be in the description. We're going to try to figure out that YouTube chapters thing too, so you can just see which portions of the video are the longest, which ones you want to watch, and you click on those and watch them. But the time codes should be in the description as well for each topic that we talk about, as always. Anyway, yeah, this is a good one. Peace out.
Please enjoy the final. Sorry. Right at the same time. Ready?
Please enjoy the
one more time.
Please enjoy the
last. One more time.
Please enjoy the last podcast.
Fucking reliable. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Okay.
That was a joke. It's called
Okay.
the joking. Get used to it. Ever heard of a joke before?
Not once. Are these part of set deck too?
Yeah, I was
Wanna-
thinking.
Play with some screws.
I was thinking we could play nuts and bolts to sexual partner game.
Is it?
Yeah. You ever played nuts and bolts
No,
before? Really?
I have never had a sexual partner.
It's really fun. So,
How do you play?
lady, she's the.
There goes the only thing of this set that has to do with me.
You could say it's gone.
That was good. Anyway,
I'll
nuts
go
and
get
bolts.
it. I'll go get it.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
No, while I'm down
it's
there,
symbolism.
I'll get you the nuts and bolts. You
You'll
know?
show me how to play nuts and bolts?
Yeah, I'll show you how to play it while I'm down there.
Okay.
You ready again?
Wow.
That was something else, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to fall. It's okay.
Yeah.
I can just hold it.
Yeah. You wanna
I'm part of the set.
There you go. Ian's favorite book.
So anything, my grandma died yesterday. This is really, really hard on the whole family. Did I tell you the joke I read?
No.
This is already going to be a red band, so screw it.
Hey, I don't care.
My grandpa's addicted to Viagra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no one's taking it harder than my grandma.
You have told me this
Yeah,
joke,
okay,
in
it's
fact. That's a good one, though. You actually
thought
you
so.
used that on our last podcast.
Did I?
Your book. You just chucked your book.
Did I use it on the last one?
Oh, like the one with Jada that we
That's
just did
okay.
like last week.
It's not going to be posted.
Yeah.
They heard it for the first time.
Use the. I kept that thing for a reason.
Oh, right. I did the joke, and
So now you
people liked it.
Yeah, we did.
Everyone and their mom. I was looking back at not all of, because that's just torture.
Yeah.
A lot of the podcast yesterday, because I was trying to
Yep.
find some good clips for
Oh yes.
a little bit of a we're phase 3 compilation. Because if you guys don't know, which we haven't actually said yet, in one of the podcasts we talked about how each one represents a phase. Shaw Studio, when we moved there, that was phase 2.
Mhm.
We're gonna stop talking about all the comic book stuff, nerdy stuff, and start talking about our lives more. And then we kind of teased that phase 3 was gonna be like real, like we're gonna talk about our experiences when we move away.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, moving away got delayed by a decent amount of time.
A little more than a year.
Yeah, but it's happening finally, and so we're getting ready to move on to phase 3.
Yes.
We're not there yet, but this is kind of a bridgeway podcast. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I was looking at all the past podcasts, kind of trying to find some good things for a little compilation like This Was What You Missed in Limitless Conversations before we move on. Not a lot of good content, might
Nope.
I add. Nope, not a lot of great stuff.
I heard James Gunn this one time.
This one time?
one thing.
James Gunn said this joke, and it didn't land.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Personally,
Made me giggle.
a little racy. I started getting like a little emotional
Yeah.
A little emotional seeing the humble beginnings. We were so serious in the beginning.
Yeah.
And
It's
trying to be so
adorable.
professional. And it was great kind of watching us almost relax in front of the camera as time went on and stop taking ourselves too seriously by like, because I was like, you know how you can scrub through the videos and see the thumbnails? So I was doing that to try to figure out where we would laugh at so I could find the funny moments easily.
Right.
And for the first about 3 videos, barely any laughter.
Yeah.
Even every time we
laughed was like a...
Yeah, every time there was a joke said where we wanted to laugh or something, we would contain ourselves and be like, yeah, and then
like it was like an interview or something.
Yeah, we were trying to keep our cool, stay professional, and then I don't know. I think by episode 5 or something, it's just near the end. Oh yeah, it was. I think I remember the exact one where we were kind of just dropped it all. Do you remember the Avengers Endgame theory about the time stone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
we in the
Yeah, we
podcast
just
at the
fucking went
beginning.
off, yeah.
At the beginning, we said we tried filming that 3 times, and every time an issue occurred, so we had to restart the
we were
theory
just
from the
so
beginning,
sick of
and
it.
you had to pretend your reactions every time and like try to make it interesting because we just said the same hour, like the same hour's worth of stuff like 3 times in a row. So we just kind of lost it.
Yeah, I remember we just fucking turned into.
We started making sound effects. And that was probably my favorite one of the beginning podcasts because we actually started being ourselves. So that was cool to see us kind of shape this into what we actually, because at the beginning we had a different idea of this podcast than what it turned out to be. And then eventually started shaping into what it was meant to be and what it should have been all along, which was just
destiny.
Us being us and
being
not
bitches.
trying to, us being straight
Goddamn
up
bitches. Yeah.
And yeah, it was really cool.
Might I say, this shit is bitchin'.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
You
I don't
tricked
need.
me
I
there.
don't need to burp. So. Bussin'.
Oh, this one goes on forever. Oh no,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
No, it's something else. It did. Might have been that
Maybe
one. I don't
one of them.
remember.
We'll find it eventually. We don't want to. We
Yeah,
don't want to show you everything.
It'll be all
just yet.
surprises. So let's actually, now that I think about it, let's just go. Hi, we're back.
Howdy.
It's been a while. Last time you saw Ian and I wasn't too long for you, but for us, last podcast we did was almost a year ago with Jada. Last one you saw. I had long hair.
Look at that. It's gone.
Check this out.
Look at that.
It's all
gone.
gone.
My hair is pretty much the same length right now. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Lots changed.
You didn't have a tattoo?
I did not have tattoos. I have tattoos now. You can see.
Yes.
Whoop.
Oh yeah.
And then this one. Yeah, lots has changed. I have tattoos. That's about it. Yeah, that's the only big difference in my life. What's some different differences in your life since last time?
Not
Things
a
have
heck of a lot. Yeah, just been working.
Yep.
We pretty much got school all set up now.
Yeah, we're getting ready to move. Looking at places.
Getting all our
to
ducks in a
purchase.
row.
getting
And
crazy.
ready to take that step into, I don't know, into the abyss.
To the Yale towns.
To the Yale towns.
Yeah, so part of the reason we're doing this podcast is, I guess you can talk about this, your idea.
Moving?
The last.
Yeah. Yeah.
The title.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have read the title.
You guys hopefully
That's
have
bold.
read the title.
So maybe you want to talk about why?
Yeah.
What's
A little bit of clickbait there. This is not going to actually be our last podcast, but it will be the last podcast on this channel. Next time you see it, I kind of want to do the last one on this channel in the new place, but I feel like it's almost more fitting to have it at the first one.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So this will be the last podcast on this channel. So for those of you that enjoy these podcasts and actually listen to these podcasts, you can head over to the Limitless Conversations channel that we have made for podcasts specifically.
We'll link it to this video.
Yeah, they will all be there in the future. They're going to be fun, and they're going to be real. What they're going to be is pretty much
the new podcast,
the new ones, the new phase of Limitless Cinematics, Limitless Conversations, I guess. As we talked about, there's a new phase. Each phase has different we've been over this. The new phase is going to be very real to our lives. A lot of the time when we're doing this podcast, besides like one or two, we don't talk too personal about ourselves, how we're feeling, all this stuff. We kind of try to keep it lighthearted. And that's not saying they will be sad or depressing podcasts. We as people try to find the silver linings and light
moments of levity.
Yeah.
You know?
And so they're not just going to be super dreary and depressing, but we're going to be more honest with ourselves, each other, and you. So we're going to, if we're having some issues with,
we're going to talk about them.
The whole change to, we're not city slickers. we're not city slickers, but we're going to have to be city slickers. And it's going to be a big change. So
yeah, like old podcasts, talking about movies, it's simple stuff. It's new stuff we're going to move on to is going to be, the way we kind of saw it is like when we look back, we're watching like the progression of our life. Like we'll still talk about movies, like if it has to do with what's going on, but we're going to talk about like what it's like to go to film school, what it's like to live in Vancouver as two broke adults having to spend $3,000 a month.
For sure. I just feel it would be a disservice to our future selves to not talk about all of the
and
stuff
keep
that
it on record.
Keep it on record. Be fun to look at when we're either homeless and somehow acquire a phone, or having a family, and
looking back on how the good old days were.
Forcing your kids to say, back in my day, this is where I was.
That was Oscar. He's in prison now.
Yeah, he got arrested for too many things to count.
Fucking a raccoon.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was.
Needless to say, I was not part of it, boys.
You should have seen the film. It was trash. Oh.
That was good.
I was gonna say something else, but I kind of forget.
Come on, bring it up.
What was I gonna say? That'll come to me. It always does.
So yeah. How do we talk about it? So yeah, things have changed for us last time we spoke. For one, since about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, all this COVID stuff was happening. I was picking up jobs, like I worked full time and a bit part time at some points at a coffee shop that I was at. I mean, one of our first podcasts I talked about, I got this new job. Been working there for a while. Ian's had his job the whole time through. But about like a year ago to half a year ago, I started being like, look, we had this thing with our school where we don't want to go unless we're getting like hands-on in-person classes. And that's not because we're like, COVID isn't real and anti-vax and all that. It's just, we value going to film school to get the 100% experience. So once it is safe to then be in person again is when we would like to go to film school. So we've been waiting for a while.
Yeah.
And I started to think, we had these ideas of like, oh, what are we going to do for this whole next year? At first we were going to go, I think like maybe some of you know, we were going to go in January and we were going to go in May. And so we were like, fuck, we got to make some money. Then everything happened. Our school got delayed until that next year, I think in March. March came around, they said, hey, it's still going to be online. Yeah. So we said, we'd like to wait longer. So then it became July. Once it became July, I called them again, and they said, yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer. So I said, when do you think would be like 100%, almost 100% certain it would be mostly in person? And they said January. And when I called them was in, I think, March or February. So I was like, okay, that's a year from now. So that means another year we have to wait. As soon as we were like, okay, we'll wait another year if that means we get this opportunity. And then I was like, okay, now we have tons of time to save money, at least. That's like the bright side of it. But two, like, let's not wait for film school. Let's just get ahead. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of film jobs and just, pushing our career in the direction we want to go. I think a big part of that was making like Sirenhead and doing like just
that was our
like
first,
Limitless wise, like
we did a whole podcast about it because it was the first thing that kind of added. That was the first thing that we did where we had a crew and we add more people and we
had a crew
like,
and
you know what?
Got good views.
We don't have to go to school. This isn't for school. This is for us. We don't have the limitations that school does of we have to have tons of other things we have to focus on and hand in and all these little.
Let's just make something.
Do what we want to really do and put.
It wasn't for a film festival. It was just, hey, we need to get together again. This was a point where it was safe to get together again, and we thought, let's just make something as friends, as a crew. And that we actually got a lot of good comments. We got plenty of views on that. And it actually did give us a little bit of reception. It got me a couple film jobs. And so I've been doing commercials lately. Did one for Walcan Seafood. Yeah. And so we're just no big deal. We're just like, it's kind of where things have gone, is we've been doing like film jobs almost every for like the past 3 months or so, more than that. We've been doing like a film job every 1 to 2 months, which is like good, and it pays good. And,
don't mean to brag, but we're kind of rolling in dough right now.
On top of all of those things, which is saying, things have gone good, and like we've kind of got that point where we have a little bit of a step up above other people who might potentially go to film school. We have that extra, like we have a lot of experience where we're going to film school to learn and understand industry standard and like how to actually be in this business, but we have experience in this business too, which also kind of makes me more comfortable with that.
Because if all else fails, we will still get jobs, just not as big jobs.
Yeah, like I think I don't think this is going to happen, but if once we leave film school and it's like we're going nowhere, I am fairly confident that I will still have plenty of work if we move back here.
Yes. But that isn't the goal in our head. That's not part of our 5-year plan.
We're planning to, the goal is to go bigger. Another thing that happened, because we this took a while. Ian doesn't really even know this because I kept this kind of a secret. But as soon as I ended the phone call with the school, and I was talking with Jada, being like, we got another year here. Like, I'm gonna make a lot of money, but like, we're just stuck here, and I'm gonna make quite a bit of money, and I want to do something. And she was like, okay, yeah. And I'll start with this. One of the early podcasts, Phase, I think it was the new Phase podcast. Ian and I said our New Year's resolutions. Ian's was to make a film, which I think is actually really cool, to make a film that grows us a bit of a following. And then coincidentally, we actually did that without even trying. And then mine was to get a red Komodo. And I didn't tell Ian. So in January, I knew that it was going to be another year until we go to school. I'm going to make lots of money. I said, Jada, I'm going to buy a red. And she said, don't do it. That's stupid.
Let me just say, everybody in your circle was pushing you not to do this.
Yep.
And I respect it because you did it anyway.
Yep. So
before people say Ian's such an asshole, he's not supporting his friend.
No. This is I don't like saying how much it is. Yeah. But this is a $20,000 camera. Yeah. I understand
Ian could not support his friend in this situation because Ian was worried about school.
Exactly. Ian and I are living together. I understand why this would be concerning. This is why I didn't tell him at first, because I knew once I had it, I could have the way of explaining it. But if I just told him, I think
because with a lot of our stuff, mics, audio equipment, a lot of stuff, we split everything 50-50.
I also was not going to ask him to do that.
So he just didn't tell me he did it.
Yes. So I also thought it would be awesome. My original plan actually was to when it showed up, post on my Instagram story just like a package showing up and be like, oh, cool. And then like wait a couple hours and then post another picture of like the package opening. Maybe like a little face like, oh. And then the last picture would just be like the red logo. And then I just like wouldn't post anything and see if like Grady and Noah were like, what the fuck did you do? But then I thought,
you told them before me.
No, because then what happened was we were doing the Canada Day video. And it was only me and Noah. Like it was before Grady got there. And I was talking to Noah. And he was asking, okay, you know what happened? This is what weirds me out.
Okay.
So I was talking to Noah, and then he mentioned, I don't know, there must have been like some point beforehand where I was telling him I was planning on buying something, but I don't remember. So he just kind of he has no idea about a red or anything. We haven't talked in a long time, and he goes, "So when's that new camera coming?" And I was like, "You know about it?"
Oh.
And like I think like I remember a while back telling him that I was gonna buy something, so maybe that was like he was talking about something else.
Or
Like,
maybe
that
he
was
was
the end of
just
it.
casually saying like,
Or like messing with me or
joking
something.
with you
But
'cause
then
you
yeah,
have an
I went,
expensive
you
camera
know
already."
about that? And he was like, what do I know about? And I was like,
Yeah.
nothing. And like I didn't even have to say it. He went, you bought a red, didn't you? And I was like,
wow, yeah.
yeah, I bought a red. And then for the rest of the day, he kept looking at me going. So yeah, I bought a red camera, and it is wonderful, and
It is nice. I won't deny it.
To be fair, we can charge more now with our videos, which is nice. Thank you. It is a wonderful camera, and I could go on and on about how great it is and how cool it is. I think I kind of did in the first video, so I don't really need to. But you know, it's
video?
the one where I said I wanted to get it. I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
talked a little bit about it, but
Mhm.
like basically, this is a movie camera. This isn't like
This
Black
is for
Magic.
cinema.
yeah.
We're gonna step our game up from just little film school
Limitless
nerds,
2 is gonna be insane.
little punks, little film school bitches. We're gonna step that up, and we're gonna be
Exactly.
big boy bitches.
Ever heard of Martin Scorsese? Fuck him.
He ate shit compared to what we're making.
Yeah. Not exactly why I bought it. One, I wanted a red for a long time. I remember like when I bought it, I had to wait 6 months for it to arrive. So once I put all that money, sent it all to B&H, and then just lost it in my bank account.
Just
Part of me is like,
somehow.
fuck, this money's gone. But then like I remember I was driving home from Jay's one time, and just like while I was driving, I was like, holy shit, I own a red now. This is crazy.
And you recorded my reaction, so maybe we can put that in this
let's
one.
throw that in. We'll throw. I was gonna say that I
Oh,
forgot
sorry,
to even.
yeah.
No, I forgot to say
Yeah.
it. So I appreciate that. We'll throw it in. We're just gonna make a dumb little DIY F3 video.
A little bit. Your bed got taller.
Yeah, I did.
What are you gonna say?
Just here.
It happened.
I got a bunch of posters in that box. If you want to take a look, new posters. Yeah.
Well, poster, huh?
Or number 3, brother.
What? No, you didn't actually do that, did you? You're a fool, aren't you?
What the fuck?
No. Oscar.
Yeah. No.
No!
There you go. You wanna hold it?
No.
Wait, I'll make you feel better about it. You wanna feel better about it?
How much more did you pay for that?
You wanna hold it?
No!
Hold the baby.
I don't
Hold the
wanna hold
baby.
the baby.
Hold the baby.
Jesus. Why? Did you
Surprise.
sell the Black Magic?
I might be selling it to Noah and Brady. I bought that 6 months ago. And it just arrived last week.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's heavy. It's got a lot more weight to it.
I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes when I've been getting a little drunk, I've been going, Ian, I gotta tell you something.
Have you?
And then I never tell you. And then when we've been playing Sea of Thieves, I've been like showing my order on the phone when you're not looking,
Oh,
when
really?
we're FaceTiming each other.
Oh my
I've been going
God.
on. Anyway, surprise.
So there isn't a video you have to film.
No, but I do want to film
Oh,
it at some point. We don't
yeah.
have to do it today, but it was just all a ruse to surprise
Wow.
you. We shoot on red now. I also, you didn't notice this either. I'm not surprised, but I changed the website. It says shot on red on our website.
Did you?
Yeah. So yeah.
It says it there too. No, wait, never mind. That doesn't say
No,
it.
but the company is called Cinematics.
That's crazy.
Take off the cap.
So you custom ordered this lens?
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you gonna afford Vancouver?
The thing is, we're still good.
Are we?
Yeah, after I entered that contest.
Because I can't fix my car.
I've been saving for this for a long time.
Okay.
And I just thought it'd be really funny if I didn't tell you. And then just surprise you someday. I thought because the black magic freaked you out. Just buying this should probably.
Okay,
So,
wow.
Now we can use that.
Yeah, you
Tomorrow.
Want to tell me the total of that one?
I'm not going to tell you how much.
I would love to hear how much this was.
It's $20,000.
Huh, no. What?
Yeah. There's Ian freaking out. So yeah, like it's like a genuine movie camera. It's not like the Blackmagic where it's like, this is the best you can get for this price range. Like, this is, they use this for Suicide Squad, The Matrix. Like, it's, which, not saying that now our stuff is going to look like that, but it's that we get like the image quality and the workarounds, and it also is really good. Like, there's a reason it costs that much, for one, like, but part of it is too, like, with the Blackmagic or something like that, you get, like, they do something called Blackmagic Raw, where you have all this. So if I film something and I accidentally overexpose it, in post, I can go back and fix that, but it is limited. With the Red, because of, you know, it's so much money, it's because there's so much more work put into that software where, like, you do have so much more leeway. So if you do screw up something on filming, you're not, there's part of you that's like, okay, I can fix this later. Like, it's not the end of the world.
Does this mean that you're planning on switching over editing software as well, or you're going to stick with DaVinci?
No, DaVinci still works with it. We could use Premiere. But yeah, I own a Red. That was kind of one of the big things that happened for me this year.
And I know we always preach about it doesn't matter what camera you use and all this. You can use an iPhone and still make good stuff.
I mean, like, if, like, again, like, the last thing we did was Lapse, which was completely on an iPhone. Like,
so you know what?
It's a tool.
We proved to ourselves that we can do stuff without a fancy camera.
Yeah.
So imagine what our stuff would look like with a fancy camera.
The part that is part of it. The second part of it is too, if we want to get commercial jobs, we can't walk on set with an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is like with one of the last things I did. The last 2 jobs I got, when I was pitching to them, I said, and I do own a Red. And that's when they were like, okay, you're the guy.
Yeah.
And it's because that's a name. Like, it's like when it's, I mean, this isn't the perfect example, but like when you get a resume from somebody and it says they worked at McDonald's, it's like, okay, they've had that program. Mm-hmm. Apparently that's a great program. It's kind of the same thing. You hear that
work
name.
in high stress environments.
You hear that name, you go, okay, then that's somebody that I might want to work for me. It's the same with owning a Red camera.
I worked at Chuck E. Cheese's.
Oh, were you Chucky?
I was Chucky. Chucky. Is that his name?
I don't know. Is it?
We're going to stop. Oscar's going to go research that right now. Should we stop recording and then restart, or just in case?
You just keep talking.
I'm talking.
I'll cut maybe.
I'm just concerned the audio is going to cut out again if we keep it for too long. You know what I mean? We also bought, and I helped with this purchase, a Pelican case to fit all of our gear in, because we looked like a bunch of losers walking in on set with 5 different backpacks, kind of stumbling, holding tripods. I remember what I was going to say.
I'm not going to put the monitor on just because it's a lot of work, but
that's okay. Another reason, completely different. Another reason, we'll get back to this. Another reason. Yep. Another reason why we were switching the podcast over to the other channel was because we did have a job one time with someone, and we were talking to them about our channel, and they were kind of curious, so they looked us up, and the first thing that popped up, the first video was the podcast with Noah and Grady that said how to survive a zombie apocalypse. And they're like, oh, how to survive a zombie apocalypse. And we were just, oh fuck.
Right? Like, for future jobs, it's nice to maybe separate these two things.
When people look us up, we don't want podcasts to be the first thing that come up. We want our actual work.
Because we're trying to sell ourselves.
Yeah, we want our portfolio. That's not what,
we're not selling our podcast. We're selling our talent.
Our podcast is just a side hustle.
Exactly. This is for fun. So that's another reason we're moving. More importantly,
sorry.
This is the Red camera. I didn't put the monitor on just because it takes a little bit of work. I bought a small HD 7-inch Cine 7. But this is a beauty. As you can see. Thank you. Yeah. And I mean, the camera's not gonna be able to pick this up, but before I do that, I bought this lens. It's a custom-made lens from a company in China called PC Hood Cinematics. They're gonna get a free shout out because their customer service is amazing.
Go them.
No cap. Okay.
Okay. Oh.
All right. I bought this lens.
Mm-hmm.
Said, hey, any little customizations, let me know. All right. Throw my shit in there. And then a couple days later, Jade is dyeing my hair orange. Right. And I think to myself, hey, I wonder if that ever shipped. So I Instagram messaged them and say, hey, do you have like a basic idea when I'm going to get it? And he said, I'll get it to you in 10 days. And I said, all right. Oh. And then, no cap. Right. He goes, by the way, let me just ask a couple questions about your specific things you want. And then I detail, all right, I want this. And he goes, oh, do you maybe want me to add some extra stuff like free writing on the side of the lens? And I went, fuck yeah, I do. And he went, what do you want, dude? And I said, I want my company name. So now on the side of our lens, we have Limitless Cinematics.
It's very
which
cool.
is really, really cool. I showed this to one of our clients. He thought that was pretty sick.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, seriously, PC Hood Cinematics. If you're going to buy a lens, if you are a cinematographer, if you are a person who can afford this, buy it from them. They take, they rehouse lenses.
Whoa.
What?
Cinematics.
Yeah.
That's their company name?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Cinematics isn't a word.
No. Isn't that cool?
That's why we did Limitless Cinematics.
No.
That's crazy. So, okay, so we're not the only ones that are stupid enough.
I guess not. Yeah. Okay. But seriously, like, free shout out. You guys are actually really cool. They had great customer service. I was talking to him for a long time. He'd always send me little, like, smiley face emojis and stuff.
Cute. Very cute.
Good guy. Great penis,
Fun
I
fact.
think.
Great penis?
Great penis.
Wonderful. Happy to hear it.
Yeah.
Fun fact about this camera. I've only touched it twice.
Twice? I feel like you held
I've
it more
held
than
it
that.
Twice.
There you go.
Nope.
Hold it.
And it's
heavy.
By,
like,
it's by
kinda
my
hard.
own choice.
It's kind of
yeah.
hard on the forearms.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Please.
$20,000.
I appreciate if you'd hold it. I would appreciate it.
I don't.
I would
Like, I'm
appreciate
more
it. Come
scared
on.
to hold this than a human
Come on.
child.
Come on.
Human
Put it.
baby.
There you go. See?
Wow, yeah, it's weighty.
It's not so hard.
Oh!
You want to put it down now?
Yeah, I want to. I don't want to. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not my job anymore.
Yeah.
those
so
days are behind me.
I'm just at this point we're just showing it off. This isn't the point of the podcast. I'll put it away. But yeah,
Put your massive cock away.
I'm very proud that we have this camera to shoot our stuff now. It's gonna be really cool. Yeah.
And if there was one sound to describe your bank account.
I'm just gonna leave it here actually.
This is the one that goes on way too long.
Yeah. That might have been it. We'll find out. We could be wrong though. I feel like
Yeah.
there's another one.
Okay.
Yeah. So that happened.
Boy, did it ever.
Yeah, man.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just trying to get my knee around the
Uncomfy?
table.
It's sad that this is probably going to be one of the only times you ever use this set. Yeah.
We had this prep for like a year. And we're like, one day we'll film down here, and here's
You
the
know,
day.
When you're
And it's
busy
the day where
bees
we
like
go
us.
last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about that dream you had the other day.
Okay.
I
So-
thought it was quite interesting.
Yes. As most people, you know, when a dream is brought up, everyone kind of rolls their eyes. It's like, oh, here he goes, because it's just personal to that person, and it didn't actually happen when someone tells you a dream, and didn't. Yeah, and
It's usually someone's personal feelings, so it's
just
not
kind of
as...
stupid. With that being said, here's my dream. And I told Oscar about it, and he enjoyed it.
We have some plans, in
I
fact.
have some plans, in fact. So, I was asleep. This was a lucid dream. Okay, I used to lucid dream quite often as a child. Pretty much every single one of my dreams during elementary school, roughly, was a lucid dream. And then around middle school, they dwindled. I think they pretty much dropped off completely in grade 9 or 10. So, but every once in a while, like every few months, I get one or two. Anyway, so it was a lucid dream. I woke up because I had to work that morning, and Oscar texted me, and he sent me a TikTok, and I was like, okay. I'll say this was different from the usual lucid dreams I have, where it was weird because I'm usually aware that I'm dreaming, so I know it's a dream and I can do anything. There's no consequences really. With this, it was more of I could control it, but I still wasn't sure if I was dreaming or not, which is quite scary. So you sent me a TikTok. Perfect. I want that energy this entire time. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Hit it again. Missed the button. So I went into this TikTok that Oscar sent me. Boom! Right away, I was like, "Okay, this isn't normal. This is what people can do."
I don't send you TikToks.
You don't send me
This is normal.
And it was a TikTok that was relevant to something that I was having in my life. There was I had a fruit fly issue in my house, and so it's good now.
When that fruit fly gets in your sauce.
Something
like
similar,
that.
something zany like that.
Yeah.
And so I am the person recording said TikTok. I just pretty much switch bodies with them. I know I'm not in my own body. There's no mirrors around for me to check my face because partially because it's a dream probably, and I don't think mirrors in dreams often.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. Sorry, just so I was recording this guy, and then I stopped recording the TikTok, and we're just joking around, having a ball, laughing. I'm not really joking around. I'm just fucking confused. I'm sitting there, and my eyes like are darting around. I'm in this little kitchenette in this apartment kind of thing. I'm like, where the fuck what is happening right now? Granted, I'm still in control, and I can wake up at any point, but for some reason I just don't really want to. I want to kind of feel it out.
You want to see what's happening.
This guy isn't threatening. He's not giving off a threatening vibe. He's a little bit overweight, and he's just kind of chilling.
Bruh.
And then he's like joking around, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll talk a little bit. Talk about what we just, And this girl walks in. And I'm like, okay, yeah. She starts kind of making fun of the guy, and she's looking at me, all right? And I don't know, it could just be something, but I could tell she was looking at me a different way than what she was looking at the guy.
Something between us.
There's something between this person whose body I was in and this girl. I was like, okay, cool.
Is there no whistle button?
There we
Yeah.
go. Hell yeah.
Yep.
So she's roasting the guy. They're kind of joking back and forth. And then eventually she's like, let's go. Because I guess you can kind of tell I'm not, being
You're not all there.
not all there. Because I'm like, haha, where the fuck am I? There's no exit. What am I doing? And she
Yeah.
takes me out of the kitchen, and we're in this little living room of this apartment.
Mhm.
And, one thing leads to another. And I don't do anything with this girl. For some reason. We kiss. But she initiates it because
God
I
damn.
am dating her in this scenario.
What?
I find out through basic social cues that I am this girl's boyfriend.
Yes.
Not Ian, but whoever I switched bodies with in this dream is this girl's boyfriend.
I was also in this dream, and I can fully recollect
You were the guy in the kitchen.
She looked just like Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah,
If that part recorded.
it was crazy.
Yeah, if that part did in fact record.
Yeah. So we start going to the couch, and we're just kind of sitting down, and she's talking. It's very hazy of a dream at this point because this happened like a week ago or so, right?
Mm.
But it hit so hard that I still remember a lot of these details. We're still talking and everything, and then and this part like messed me up. I was getting ready for work when I actually woke up and was just writing all this down because I was like, I can't get this out of my head. I need to do something with this. And she looks at me, and I have never, maybe like once or twice in real life, experienced someone looking into my soul this much. And she just goes, like, she can tell I'm off, and she just like daggers into my eyes. She goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm just sitting there, still a little confused. Like, what the yeah, this is a very weird situation. Do I tell her? She wouldn't believe me. At this point, I'm convinced that I am just switched lives with someone. And I think about it for a bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm content here.
Mm-hmm.
But she could kind of tell that wasn't fully true, because of course I'm not prepared,
You're a little out of it.
Yeah. So then she goes in for a hug. And we're just sitting there, and we're hugging. And then more friends walk in from the balcony or whatever. They're outside, I guess, doing whatever people do outside these days. I don't go often anymore. They walk into the living room, and they see us, and they don't notice anything because, of course, I'm a different person. I'm just chilling. And so they all sit down on different couches and everything in the same room, and they're laughing, joking with each other. I'm not really joining in on any of these jokes or anything because I don't know these people, their lives or anything. But again, they don't mind. They can't tell that I'm not me. And so this girl and I are kind of just sitting there, have my arm around her on the couch and everything. I'm like, okay, I should probably start looking the part because she can tell that I'm a little off. But she also, this is the weirdest thing to explain, but I could tell that this guy and this girl had turmoil in their relationship previous to this day.
Some drama.
A little bit of drama, and they were just making up.
Mm-hmm.
And she could tell that I was acting different from her boyfriend usually does, because I'm guessing I act different in relationships than her, because everyone acts different in relationships.
Yep.
So I was being more affectionate and just like having her there and, talking more openly about stuff. And she seemed to enjoy it. She was very happy that I was doing that. She made a comment or something about that, like kind of hushed to me. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling more comfortable. She's not, uncomfortable. Everyone is, nothing harmful has happened.
Everything
here.
great is happening.
Everything right now is going perfectly.
Yes.
And she's talking, and then she kind of like, buries her head in my shoulder. I fucking hate that. It's so, okay. But,
She goes like this.
Yeah, motorboats. No, but she moves in closer. You can tell she's just content.
Yes.
And I'm content because you know what? It's a nice break from reality.
Yep.
Even though it's not my reality, it's a nice break from reality. And then, so her head's there, her face is hidden from everyone else, and one of her friends on the other couch looks at me, and she's like, she mouths like, is she crying? Because I guess we were fighting. This is like part of the reason that leads me to believe that they had turmoil before. And I sit there for a bit again, just like when they asked if I was okay. And I sit there, and I'm like, she's like, I kind of do a little peek. She's not crying.
So you take a moment to think.
And I say, yeah, even though she isn't.
I totally ruined the mood, but
no, it's okay. I say yeah, even though she isn't, because I just wanted to stay in that. This is the biggest Timothy bitch boy dream in the world, but I just wanted to stay there. I was happy. I was like, damn, this is, what, this is my life. I'm content with this being my life from now on. Like, I am okay with this just being forever. And then, as most things do, stuff started going sideways.
yes.
Dreams can't be good for too long. That's, argument.
That's a quote right there. Dreams, put that on a fucking t-shirt.
You should put that on some underwear.
Dreams can't be what for too long?
Good for too
Yeah,
long.
that's
yeah.
beautiful.
Argument breaks out, and people start attacking this girl that I have just invested my heart and soul into. That I am somehow falling.
That's the wrong one.
No, it's perfect. I'm falling in love with this girl. I know. And then I'm like, what the fuck? Stop. I yell at the person. I'm like, stop. Can't you see that, like, she's getting fucked up over this. And he keeps going. And no one is defending her. So I do a little, what the fuck? Like, I get kind of mad. I stand up. Should have used this after.
Sorry. Wait, one more time.
So I stand up and accidentally throw her phone across the room. I do indeed hit a lamp and a wall. And the phone screen shatters. And that's when the facade of me being this person kind of breaks in everyone's head. And they're like...
They all look at you like...
it was like a fucking horror movie. Everyone's heads turned to me. And they're like, what is up with you? What is going on?
Like in Spider-Man fucking 3 when he hits Mary Jane.
Yes, exactly like that.
Look what I've become.
Yeah.
But not exactly become.
So then, in my head, of course, again, still in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here. I can't. So I stand up from the couch and I just book it out of the apartment. And I'm running down the hallway, just going, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And then I finally woke up. And when I woke up, I almost cried because I was like, I fucked that up. Was that someone else's life? I could have just fucked up someone else's life. And then I took a little bit of a breather, and I was like, no, that's not possible. I recognized two of the people in that dream, not the girlfriend or anyone, like two of her friends. So I was like, okay, it definitely was a dream. But that was fucked. And yeah, I was like, I wanted to go back, but I knew that wasn't possible.
To fix what you did.
Yeah. It wasn't my life to live.
That's beautiful.
And scene. That was all made up. No. So that was my dream.
Quite the interesting dream you had.
Yeah, I don't usually remember my dreams, but that was one of the weirdest ones ever. Ever.
Yeah, I don't really remember any of my dreams. I don't really do that. I forget them pretty quick. I do remember when I wrote it down in like grade 10. Mm-hmm. But it's not that interesting. It's mostly just like I had this one dream where at one point I was Brad Pitt, but then I went back to being regular me from World War Z, not Brad Pitt.
Okay.
And it was like Germany or like one of those countries that have like all the old brick buildings.
Yeah.
And it was snowy, and he was just barreling down this road, and there's like war kind of happening in the streets.
Turmoil.
Yeah, and we get cornered. He gets cornered in this alleyway, and there's gunfire happening and all this, and he can hear people screaming. So he hides in this building, and there's all these other people hiding in the building. All these soldiers, like all got like gunned up to their teeth. They're all like, like they could kill a fucker, and they're all hiding in this dark room, like crying and don't wake it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck's happening? Don't know why he was all gunned up and he didn't know what they were fighting, but they all anyway. And then you hear like footsteps coming, and it's this big ass weird looking thing, and it's just like whole face is just these like needle teeth.
Oh.
But I can't see, so they're all just like standing still. So they're and it's like going over.
Sniffing.
Yeah,
it can
like,
it can smell.
But it would like bite. I don't know. This is the part. It would bite them, but then not like kill them and like walk away.
It's like
and
a bunch of syringes just.
And they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't choose me" or something.
So it would suck their blood and be like, nah.
Well, it like wouldn't kill them. It would just like kind of like poke them.
Okay.
And then leave. So I guess maybe you have to like react, and then it'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna fucking kill you." I don't know.
Gotcha.
But anyway.
Ooh, I like that.
It would kind of just like
it's
stab
like
them and
needles,
see if they'd react.
And if you react to the needle, then it.
Yeah, but they would just like kind of hold it in.
So it's like walking around poking trees
like,
and shit.
You had to stand in this middle of this dark room and hope it didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the whole dream.
Huh.
So that's the only dream I ever wrote down.
The only time I remember dreams is when I'm going through some kind of emotional thing in my life.
Yeah.
I remember when it's always for some reason when I start developing feelings for someone like hard.
Yep.
Or when I get out of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like every single dream is like reminding me of that.
Yeah.
But then it goes away after a bit.
Yeah.
And I just stop remembering dreams. Anyway.
Damn.
No. What did you want to say?
You want to talk about what almost happened? I don't know if that part recorded, but I thought it would be good to get into just because it's fun to imagine.
Oh right, yeah.
We had if you remember in one of the New Phase podcasts, we said like this year something big's happening.
We got something big. We got
something that goes to the core of Limitless.
I watched that part 2 nights ago, and we say we're actually about to start shooting it.
Yep. And we said it was something to do with the core of Limitless, and that never fucking happened
Because
everything.
A couple reasons.
Because of everything.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things just kind of happened. I think if COVID didn't happen, we probably would have done it.
But I don't know if we would have released it.
I don't know.
And it would not have been.
It would not have been as good as
yeah.
like. But the other thing is, we have the capabilities to do it now, but I don't think we should do it anymore. Because
I agree.
Change. It was kind of like a film we made that was going to be symbolic of the change that we've gone through and like all these things. It was a very symbolic of like what the change of us, but also like the beginning of our company and characters and stuff. Basically, you want to just say what it was?
We're gonna do a sequel to Limitless.
Yeah, and it was going to be
I still like the general plot.
It was an interesting idea, both of them. We had 2.
Yeah, I forget which one was that one that we were talking about in the podcast. The third rework of it.
The one with you and the girlfriend and you kill. So basically, Ian and I when we finished Limitless, the first one, we won an award for it, which was like a local award.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, we could like really do something special here. So I went over that summer to Ian's house, and we spent like 4 hours writing Limitless 2. Mm-hmm. And I read it the other day. It's not bad. It's actually like it kind of holds up.
I know. I enjoyed the plot.
It was interesting. I don't know if you ever like plan on like making this a book or something, so I won't go into detail.
No, it's not good.
But it's there's some actually really really cool plot points and like moments where there was this point at the end where one of the characters in first Limitless, if you remember, there's Gordon. Mm-hmm. He ends up being the villain of the second.
And it's not even a cheesy villain.
No, it was actually
story.
really, it was done well.
Yeah.
And there's this point where Ian's story is also like there's this pill that can take away people's powers, which we did a bad job of describing that people have abilities in the first one. So in the second one, we kind of like recap that and make it more obvious.
Yeah.
That Ian's character has these abilities, and there's this pill, and all these other teenagers in the world got these abilities. So there's this pill that
I don't think it was. Should we just do an origin story of Limitless?
if you'd like to.
Very rough. Very rough. I think it was what we said was in this town only so far, but it was spreading. something that they did with babies born a certain amount of year in the hospital procedure. They did like a little test under the radar.
Yeah.
And they kind of fucked up. They weren't really intending to do this. Something that they just changed.
Yeah.
Gave abilities to babies born in this time.
And
So that's not why
yeah.
none of the adults have it, and no one super young has it. So
Yeah.
it's just this chunk of like people aged like 12 to
17. I don't know,
17
something
or
like that.
18. Yeah.
And yeah, so Ian notably becomes quite the Boy Scout. My character not so much. And in the second one, it opens up with me being imprisoned by Ian. He's kind of keeping an eye on me. And he becomes good friends with Gordon. And later in the film, Gordon finds out that Ian's been keeping the secret from him, that he's had my character.
Because
and so
I faked his death so that nobody knew that, because he was a villain in the if you don't remember the first Limitless, Oscar's character tried capturing Gordon, tried taking his power and almost killing him. My character saved him, and that was the origin story for the Guardian, which was my character's name. And then Oscar ran off, and we had like a little thing in between. We were gonna say that they had a fight, and the addict, Oscar's villain, died and was killed by the Guardian. But in reality, he just kind of kept him hidden away because he didn't have the heart to kill his childhood best friend.
And so the Gordon's character ends up becoming this character named Chaos.
Yeah.
Welcome to Chaos. And he assembles this army, and they have this pill that they're gonna exterminate all the other people with these powers. And there's this little like side story about this pill. And Ian's protecting my character, even though he's a villain. He's like, I'm not gonna get this guy killed. And Gordon finds out that Ian's been left this guy alive. So Gordon's like, okay, I'm gonna go find him. I'm gonna fucking kill him. And so then Ian has to battle with that. So there's this really, really cool part where they like the army goes to the school. Gordon attacks me inside like my cell, and we have this little fight. And like we do some shit talking and stuff, and I kind of play smart with him, and then I realize, oh, this guy really means shit. I haven't seen him in like a year, and he's got some stuff. And then we cut back to Ian, and he's fighting the army, like trying to get to where Gordon and I am. And they kind of like pin Ian down, and they make him eat this pill. Or first we do the knife thing, right?
Yeah, we do. We had a lot of cool choreography planned
parts.
that I don't know how well they would have turned out, but they were cool.
And then I don't remember vividly this. They hold you down and make you take the pill, right?
Yeah.
And do you end up?
I
don't remember.
I think so.
But no. So okay. So from what I remember, you're doing this fight. There's this part where this guy pulls like he takes the knife out of his pocket, and we do that lower thigh shot where like the knife comes out, and then Ian's foot like is kicking somebody and spins around back to kick it back into the guy's leg.
Yeah, somehow.
And there's a part where like somebody put a gun back up to the head, and he takes the slide off and chucks the slide at somebody's throat. Some cool stuff.
Yeah. Again, remember this guy has superpowers.
But while that's all happening, Gordon and my character are fighting, and at one point I get the upper hand. And there's this part I thought was gonna be really cool. I don't think we ever filmed it, but my envisioning is we get like a bag full of blood and just let me pound the shit out of it so it'd get all over my face. And I just like beat this guy to a fucking pulp. And then we cut back to Ian. He's almost about to swallow the pill, and then the guy just gets decked who's about to put the pill in his mouth, and I save you or whatever. And then like we go our separate ways. Or something like that. Yeah. This new one we were gonna make was a time jump. The one that we were going to film. Like, we wrote this second script. Yeah. And then years go by.
And we're looking a little too old for this to happen right after.
And then
we
thought,
we have something more mature to tell.
Let's, as a symbol of us continuing as filmmakers, but also to, like, kind of cap off this, like, superhero part of our lives, let's end Limitless, kind of, in a way. So the story was, time has gone by. My character is presumably dead. And Ian is living with his girlfriend, or James is living with his girlfriend, and he's obsessed with crime fighting. And there's like, it's not even necessary anymore. He's just beating up fucking jaywalkers at this point. And
which is a hilarious fucking image.
But he's like, he's just like, he's like those jokes about Batman where he's just ridiculously brutal. That's kind of what his character is. And he's obsessed with it. And his girlfriend kind of finds out. His girlfriend knows, and he's also an alcoholic, which is kind of kept up.
Classic.
And the girlfriend kind of has to convince him to put away the drinks and put away the crime fighting because it's not necessary. And then he finds out that my character's still alive and is giving people power.
No, he's running. He's
taking people's powers
taking
away because some people are suffering.
He
from
took
it.
over for Gordon's character in the last. That's because
Yeah.
at the end of last one,
End credit scene.
the end credit scene of the last one that we had written was that he goes to Gordon's gang, Oscar's character,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Where is Chaos?"
You go, I am chaos.
I am Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Ian finds out that I'm alive, and he goes, and because Ian's this, he's a little screwed in the head because the other thing was Gordon's character. He does this like it was dark. Like he did a mass shooting or something right to a school, and that's where everybody thought the Guardian died. We had that plot where like you would read the news and be like, it's been 1 year since the massacre. And my theory is this new Guardian, since he's so much more violent, isn't the Guardian.
Right.
That Guardian died.
It
This
wasn't
is a new guy
I don't
who
think it
took
was a
the mantle.
shooting. It was more of like a power kind of
Something
he
like
brought
that.
someone in. He convinced someone who was kind of already not messed in the head, but a lonely guy. Gordon kind of manipulated them into causing some kind of. He had like a explosive power where if he got too
cause an
heated, he would
accident in
yeah,
like
he
a
caused
mass public building or
and
something.
then there was a huge fight in the school gym with powers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And everybody thought Ian's character died.
Yeah.
And so he's been like, there's these conspiracy theories, but this new Guardian who's so much more violent is a different guy. But it's the same guy, just people don't understand that he had this connection to these other characters, and that's what fucked him up. So when he finds out that my character's still alive, that part of him that convinces him that he's a hero still and that what he's doing is right, fucking beating the shit out of jaywalkers and drug dealers, he's like thinking he's doing the right thing. So as soon as he finds out my character's alive, he's like, okay, I gotta get back into it. I'm gonna keep this a secret from my girlfriend because she doesn't need to know I'm a fucking hero.
Yeah.
And he hides it, and like even though my character was doing the right thing in a certain perspective because of his like outlook, he's like, no, you're doing the wrong thing. I'm gonna fucking stop you.
Yeah.
And then so he's doing all this, he gets the shit beat out of him, and he goes home one day to his girlfriend. And his girlfriend's like, hey, where have you been? You got these fucking bruises all over you. And you can tell she knows what's going on. He tries to cover it up, and she goes like, you know, you told me you'd be home by 6 today. And he was like, yeah, of course. It goes. And he goes, and she's like, you remember why you were supposed to be home at 6? And he goes, yeah, of course. We're gonna hang out. She goes, yeah, it's my fucking birthday.
Yeah.
And then she that day was like, okay, I'm done with you. I'm breaking up with you because you lied to me.
Yeah.
And then that leads him to like just drink and like break his helmet. Like he just is talking to his helmet, and he
having
smashes
a little
it.
Hamilton moment.
Yeah. And he smashes it, and he just drinks his life away. And then suddenly he has this epiphany that he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill Oscar's character.
Yeah.
And so then there was this final battle where he and it was like not like a like, I mean, obviously we wouldn't be able to afford it in the first place. It wasn't like a green screen battle. It was like he takes a hostage and tells, like, my character had these people who worked for him. Mm-hmm. He takes one of them hostage and is like, go get Oscar's character. And it was just this like fight in the rain and gravel, just hand to hand kind of nasty shit.
Yeah.
And then we had like your character kill my character.
Yeah.
But it was like an accident.
Right.
Like you had this like moment of regret, but it was too late.
He thought, wasn't it something like he thought, I don't know, very hazy. I thought nothing.
It was something where like you were just like seeing red, and then you realized what you did after you did it, and you were like, oh fuck, I didn't actually want to kill him.
I think that he thought your character had, because your whole shtick was that you're able to take other people's power.
Right.
So he thought that you still had super like strength and vulnerability, but
so,
at
like,
last second you switched and took a bit of my power, which means you weren't as vulnerable.
Right.
Like you were more vulnerable.
Right.
So I kept hitting the same amount of strength that I was, which ended up
just
killing you,
murdering me.
Yeah.
And then, part of like Ian's girlfriend was like, we can't do this if you're going to keep the superhero shtick up. Yeah. So once he has this epiphany, the police are kind of wailing in the street. He's like, he's realized what he's done. And he's fucking failed as a hero. We cut back to this girl. She's living with her friend now, and you get like a knock on the door, and it's Ian all bruised up, and she's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. And he's like, he basically like implies, I think he had the suit in a box, and he's like, I'm done with this. Like, you're more important than the suit. So then they get back together and they move away, and that was part of it. She was going to school, so they were going to move away, and they throw the suit in the garbage, kind of ending this. Like, we're done with this life. And then a kid finds the suit in a dumpster,
Yeah.
And that was kind of the end. And it was, there was symbolic
we
parts
had a
of it.
really cool character that I still really enjoy.
Yeah.
A super quiet kid, and his power was that every person he looked at, it was almost a visual representation of how long they had to live.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what he tried to do to fix it, him fixing would either kill them. Like, it was always 100% accurate how long they had left. And then there's this kid that was also we were thinking about putting in this one. I forget where this kid went to play, because he was
first. He showed up in script number 2, which is the one we wrote that summer.
Oh, right.
Right, he steals your bike.
Yeah.
And then he was going to show up again in this one, and he steals your suit from the dumpster.
Yeah.
And then there was the character that took care of him, right?
Yeah, so there was a kid who his power was that he could see a visual representation of how long everyone had to live.
Mm.
And that was, like, set in stone.
Yeah.
If you tried helping them and delaying that, that would end up killing. Like, it was no matter what, he could see how long.
If somebody tried to stop it from happening, that's only, like, part of what, like,
killed
it's destiny.
Yeah, it's no matter what, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And so the kid, of course, is really messed up mentally, because he sees his parents, his brother, like, he can't turn it off. So everyone he looks at, he sees how long they have left to live. And he's like, well, part of his thing was he's super quiet, but like he mentions, I looked at my little sister and saw that she had less time to live than me. So like, even when he looks in the mirror, he can see how long he has left to live. So he's like just kind of dreading, and he has an older brother who doesn't have powers. But he's a fucking badass.
He's got a fucking gun.
He's like Punisher, pretty much, is what we based them off of. And he's like super protective over him because it's his little brother.
Yeah.
And he kind of meets Guardian's character, and one of the big things was like, we were gonna leave it on a cliffhanger where he's and
Guardian kind of becomes a villain,
almost,
in a sense.
That's what I liked about. I'll get on that after.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were at the final act, or the final of this one. They were in like a school. This was completely scrapped and contradicts a lot from what we wrote for the next one, because this whole script got scrapped.
Yeah.
He was sitting there, and he was like getting ready to fight the final boss or whatever.
This might have been in the third one,
something like that.
Fourth one.
Yeah, and he turns to the kid, and he's like, because the kid refuses to tell anyone how long they have left to live.
This is the Guardian is preparing for this fight, and him and the kid have teamed up somehow. Because the brother
got captured or hurt or something. Yeah.
So they have to join forces. So he's sitting like kind of in silence with this kid. So it was the Guardian talking to the kid, not the older brother.
Yeah.
We said he, and so I was like, clear it up.
Yeah. So Gary's sitting there with the kid. He says something. What does he say? It's more like well written, but he says something along the lines of like,
the way I saw, just like vision wise, was like it was just like a quiet moment, but there was so much tension.
Yeah.
Just in the dialogue, and we knew like this fight was gonna be like whatever is about to happen. Somebody is going to die. Like this is real shit. And he kind of like looks at the kid and says something about like, "Is this it?" or something, right? Like, is this, because he knows this kid's ability, so he kind of looks at the kid and like,
because he kind of wants to know, if this is how I die, I want to go and give it my all and not care whether I die or not.
So he's like,
that was his mentality. But even though that's a kind of a like a paradox itself, it's like, no matter what, I should give it my all. And maybe me thinking I'm gonna die is gonna make me die. Like there's no workaround. But he looks at the kid and he asks, like, "Am I going to get out of this alive?" And just there's a slow dollying on the kid's face, and then it cuts, and that's the cliffhanger.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Interesting stuff.
Very interesting stuff. You know.
So that was kind of,
you're never gonna see any of that.
No, so the whole Limitless shtick is kind of a.
Yeah, we realized we don't really want to run around dressed as superheroes anymore. We don't. Yeah. We're kind of past that.
I thought it would have been really interesting to do that last Limitless when the time was right, because it was very much like an analysis on ourselves. Like you're wearing. You. Yeah, you did kill me. Like it almost. In like a weird directed part of me, like it almost makes fun of the superhero genre. Like it was like a thing where it's like, this isn't your fucking. He's like the first Limitless, like he saves the day.
Super
and, like,
campy.
Part of it was like the opening scene was like we bring back like the Limitless music, the burn, and he's fighting these people, and then he gets one person down, and he's just beating the shit, and you're
And
like,
the
all
music
right,
just
classic,
starts
and then he just doesn't stop,
dwindling,
and he
yeah.
just keeps fucking hitting this dude, and you're like, okay, this is
Yeah.
like okay.
That's
and
what
that was the
I loved about the opening was that it was super cool. Like we were planning for it to be snowing, and these henchmen playing like Jenga or something, and the camera's going through the snow doing all the opening credits. Goes to them, and they're joking
like
around.
a Tim Burton opening of like the camera's following this road into this warehouse.
Yeah, and then they're joking around, and the Guardian comes and starts beating them all up. And then, the music's going. It's like, oh, yeah, we're back, baby. And then all of a sudden, it's just, like, trails off. And
he's just beating the shit out.
kills
This guy's
them.
probably dead at this point, and he's just punching his head in, like his
Yeah.
lifeless head in.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the twist, like, oh, okay, so this is
buckle up.
yeah, and it was kind of the idea that, like what we said, like, we've become different people. Like, our lives aren't about making these superhero podcasts and like, we're taking a change. And so it was kind of what would happen if James' character kind of changed as a person, and we thought the only best way to kind of show his character change is kind of to like fail as a person, which is an interesting idea
For sure. And I really like this about Limitless is that the villains were very understandable.
The thing is,
and
like,
they were almost the good guys because they wanted to
the
stop.
heroes were almost the villains. Like,
Because the villains, their purpose for the first two, or the second, whatever, was to take away power from people because people were trying to become heroes and stop the cops from doing their job and
getting killed
and
in the
then
process.
that, as well as there were more villains around, right? Using their powers for bad. They're teenagers with powers, but nothing good is going to come from that.
Yeah.
So the villains and the government made these pills. Just not everyone was able to afford them or get their hands on them.
So
what Gordon's character did was stealing them and dealing them out for free to people.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's some bad things about that.
But
Ian's the philosophy was
had
like,
that old-fashioned Boy Scout idea where it's like, I'm gonna ignore all of your points and have this biased outlook on what is
like
right.
People
and what
deserve to have their
black
power.
and white. There's no gray. Yeah.
And part of it was that some people couldn't live with their power. Like they were in constant pain, and they wanted these pills. But the Guardian was like, "No, you earned this power. Like you deserve this. It's part of you." It's like, no, bro. Remember we had the character who had firepower, but every time he would light his hand on fire, he would feel the heat and the burns.
It would burn his hands, and like he'd have these scars.
So dope. He has fire powers, but it would hurt him. He was constantly bandaged.
Yeah, and Guardian tries to stop him from doing it, and it was like,
and then
what
he
the
fucks
fuck
up
are you
Guardian,
doing?
right? Remember that? He has like he punches him into and it was like, understandably so. You're stopping him for getting medical attention.
And one thing that I did write into the Limitless, like the one we were gonna do 2 years ago, 1 year ago, what I thought was really cool. Like I just said, we're like the Guardian or James, he sees everything black and white. There's like a good, there's a bad, there's no middle, there's no discussion. Part of it was that we wrote in was everything James holds would either be black or gray. Everything he touches, and then at the end, when he gives her the gift, it's something colored. Not the movie isn't in black and white, but everything James holds, which is kind of like a little. He sees everything he interacts with is black and gray in his opinion. Yeah, and he lets in color into his life. He sees that there's more to life. Nothing's black and white when he goes back to his girlfriend and holds things. Like it was just a small thing, but I thought that was really cool too.
And the final shot would have been like the suit. And then the sign or something, it said bit of a city of heroes, like that was their slogan, but like the snow was covering it a little bit. So
it was a cool idea, honestly.
There's a lot of cool symbolism in that whole series that we planned. Guardian, like obvious stuff. Guardian Angel, his name is the Guardian.
And then the other thing was
like wings.
The other thing with this one is because his suit, like there was a time jump. His suit has evolved, but it's also covered in like bullet holes and scratches. The Guardian Angel, the two wings, one of them is burnt, so it's like a fallen angel, more biblical thing, like Lucifer, like a fall, like it was so like he's not the angel he says he is. He's
and
kind
I think
of
there was a little thing on the news that we had written because people's theory was that it was a new Guardian. Yeah, that some people called him the fallen angel instead of the Guardian. Yeah. Which was like it was, and James hated that because he still thought he was doing good.
He like is obsessed with being this, a fucking It was
so much cool character
really
stuff.
Cool,
yeah,
it would make it cool. Like maybe if we did like a graphic novel someday or like a book or something, it would be kind of cool.
I don't know, cool ideas. But anyway, there's that.
That was the story of Limitless, people. Yeah. I don't know. We were so pretentious, like we gotta keep this a secret. Nobody can know. Like we were fucking Kevin Feige.
Yeah, we were like no one cares.
Yeah, but.
Write that down. Write that down.
I'd like to buy a Limitless.
And then are we gonna talk about Oscar and Road to Fame? Or are we still?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. We had another series. I still want to do something like this eventually because it's super
I
lighthearted,
still have all
super
the
fun.
footage, so we can still like cut something together.
And it was pretty much just like a little joking, super exaggerated thing of Oscar and I's life, where it's called Oscar, Ian, and the Road to Fame. So it starts with them after graduation, super.
You know, I can actually play the footage over top of this.
Okay, you can do it
If you
without
want.
sound because I don't
Like
think
our
audio.
talking with the video. I mean,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
So they're outside. They're kicking a soccer ball around, talking about how they didn't get invited to a grad party. Even Zach got invited to the grad party. And they're like, what are we gonna do with our lives? We need to do something. And then eventually it leads to them being like, we need to, because they want to do film stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we need to find something to do. So it would kind of be like a Freak of the Week kind of episodical web series.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually there'd be an interwoven plot in it. And so they find Rusty Cam. This guy
Man with no
Cameron, who was in
plan.
their grad class, super popular. Like, what? You think we're going to talk to him? What? And they approach him and they're like, hey, do you have any talents? And he's a jock, right? He's super
The
airheaded.
way we had it do is like we were like, we need to find somebody to help us. And
Yeah.
so we do this hard cut where we're like sitting in this van and we're like watching him from a distance, and he's
Yeah.
got these sunglasses on. He's walking down the street. And
Yeah.
looking like the coolest
Jamming,
kid in town,
jamming.
drinking his coffee, his latte.
Yeah, and we call him over into our van.
Oh yeah, and then when we call him, he like looks around like somebody's about to shoot him. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And we call him into our van. We're like, "Do you have any talents?" I know we're losers. And then he's like, "Well, I can freestyle." Because I don't know if you guys, we
Can
talked about this when we
freestyle
had
rap.
him on the podcast.
yeah,
We call him Rusty Cam because we did like a joking rap career with him in media.
we're doing which is a hilarious thing to say. We were doing a satirical version of Zach,
Yeah.
which is already
already
Yeah.
satire.
yeah.
So he does the rap, which I still love the script, how it plays off when it's like
Yeah.
we start making a beat for him. No, he starts beatboxing and he's like, "Guys, you give me a rap." And we're like, "What?" He wants us to, and so we're like, "Rusty Cam, man with no plan,
Just
just some guy
guy
we
who-
threw in our van."
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, just going. Yeah.
Well, first we were like, you can freestyle. And he's like, yeah, you want to see something? And we're like, yeah, sure. And he like takes a minute and like takes the sunglasses off really slowly, like
Yeah.
tucks them in his shirt, and takes this slow breath.
It just goes crazy.
He bends me over and starts spanking me.
Like we just told Cam, we were like, "Okay, this isn't a serious video. Like what
No,
we're
just
used to.
fucking-
Just
yeah.
go crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we cut to us trying to plan the song, and I have like band-aids all over my face, like he beat the shit out of me. And then he like he gets a little too excited while we get into it. Man with no plan, just some guy we threw in our fan. And Cam was like, "But that ain't no plan." Heartburn.
Yeah. I forget. He said something like that.
Like, he got too
He
excited.
strained his vocal cords or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And so then eventually it turns out that our arch nemesis in media, Zach, this guy by the pen name of ZM, no one knows who he is. He keeps stealing all of our past clients from us and making them blowing them up because we decided to give up on Rusty Cam at the end of it because we're like, this guy sucks. And then all of a sudden the next video
Yeah.
or the next episode of the series, we're on YouTube and it's like Rusty Cam is blowing up and he got a song produced by someone.
Oh yeah, wait.
He had a ghostwriter.
So because I love this part, just because Ian and I would write these at 3 a.m. in my
Yeah.
bedroom. And we were just so fucking done with life. Had our jobs. We had to go to work the next morning. All this
Yeah.
shit. And we're just writing in my bedroom at like 3 a.m. And we're like, okay, now he needs like Oscar and Ian choose they need to break up with Cam.
Yeah.
And Cam's like fucking loving it. Like he
He's
loves
I have
these guys.
because this character peaked in high school.
Yeah,
This is the first time since graduation where people have recognized him. Yeah.
So he's like, I'll go get you guys smoothies, bro. You keep planning this song. I'll be back.
Yeah.
And then we're like, fuck, we need to do something about this guy. Okay, we'll be really mature. We're going to tell him, look, this just isn't working. We still love to be friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so they hype each other up. Cam comes back with these smoothies. I don't remember what he says. He's like, so like, the smoothie place was cool, so I just went to my place and I made them.
Yeah.
So like, he like just loves these people so much. He like handmade these smoothies.
Yeah.
And then we're like, yeah, so look, it's just not working. And we have this whole line of dialogue staying on us. And then we cut back to Cam, and he's just deadpan staring at us, and we're like, "You okay, Cam?" And we wrote in the thing like, Cam has an animalistic scream and just whips these smoothies at our face.
Yeah.
And like, just like Velociraptor just screams.
Yeah.
And we were so tired. We were like, "That's gonna be
That's
great
right
shit
there.
right there."
That was part of the I wrote that episode. I sent it to VFS for part of our writing thing, and I took a big chunk of that stuff out because I was like, this is too fucking
That would have been amazing if you did that. It would have been like some good shit.
Yeah, this animalistic scream and immediately decimates our faces with strawberry
berry blast
smoothies.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a series that we were gonna do.
It was gonna be very fun. It was gonna start getting emotional. Oscar and I would have like talked about breaking. Like, what are we gonna do? We have to move and all this stuff. Yeah,
good stuff.
But instead, we made Sirenhead, and that was probably for the best because that got more traction
fun.
than anything else we would have made would have.
Did we even in the Sirenhead podcast, which was a mood, did we even talk about how Sirenhead came to be? Like how we were like, we're just gonna make like a 1 minute video.
I completely forget ever doing the Sirenhead podcast.
Yeah, it was so fucking weird.
Yeah, why? Why?
We sat in my room up there, and we were just like, "Hey guys, COVID happened."
Yeah,
like the cringiest.
it was COVID.
So COVID happened.
So how about 2020, huh? Or 2019?
This one goes on for a while.
All of them kind of overstay their welcome.
Let's talk about Sirenhead and Lapse, maybe. We'll do Sirenhead real quick. So Sirenhead. COVID was a thing. Things were like lockdown was a thing, and that's kind of one of the reasons we had to stop Oscar and Ian, The Road to Fame. We were filming it, and then COVID happened, and then like there was one point where I remember I was like, we could probably still film like Ian, Oscar, and The Road to Fame like distanced or something, and Ian was like, no, and I was like, all right, yeah, it was fair.
It wouldn't be. Yeah.
And so I just like kept trying to think of new ideas because I was like having like withdrawals from not filming, and a couple months passed and like things were getting safer where we were, where it was like, okay, you can start kind of seeing people again. And part of it was just an excuse to like hang out again. But I was like, okay, like the Sirenhead thing is kind of popping off. And I just suddenly had this idea for a short film that was like two guys just having a campfire talking about their lives and where they're going with their lives and what they have to look forward to, like showing that they have a good place where they're going and they haven't seen each other in a long time. And they get lost in the forest. And Sirenhead is watching them the entire time through the film, but we only see him for like 3 seconds, and it's the last frame. It's just his silhouette. And I think I called you, and that was my whole idea. And you're like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then it just kind of became bigger. Then I was like, yeah, like it'll only be a minute, like 3 minutes max.
Yeah.
It ended up being like a lot longer, which maybe it shouldn't have been.
How long was it in the end?
I think 11 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Feels like shorter than that, but yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bad though. Like
no,
I think
we learned a lot
cool
from it for sure. Excuse me, leather chairs. We're very hard on our work. I
think that's good though.
Yeah.
Like, I think we have to be.
I don't know.
It makes us better.
Feel like there was a lot of things we could have done better.
If only we filmed it unread.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That would have been so good.
Dialogue was a little iffy, in my opinion.
I like some of the real, like, I think the thing is that we had some, like, really genuine dialogue in there, which I actually really loved, like, some of the conversations we had in there. But part of it was that we, like, and this is with all, like, amateur filmmakers, is, like, there's a part that you just adore so much, but it has nothing to do with the plot. But you're just like, no, it's just so good. And that was part of it. Like, we had all these pieces in there where, like, we just love them because they're so real. We
you
didn't
can tell
really
they're
need
friends.
them. Yeah, but, like, it was not necessary. And that was kind of part of it. But, yeah, we ended up kind of making it. And there was a point where I was just, like, kind of editing it, like, adding, like, fixing a dialogue, like a line here and there, and, like, cutting 3 seconds from one shot and putting 3 seconds back in another shot and being like, we just gotta post it. Like we just like there's no point in waiting anymore. We
spent too much time because the Sirenhead was already almost.
It was already
done.
on the decline by the time we were gonna release. So I was like, okay, like let's stop waiting. Let's just put her out. Yeah. And it did fairly well. Like I think people actually enjoyed it. And that one was when I kind of thought like, okay, like maybe we should like start considering doing things more like this genre.
Yeah.
Because like everything before that was zombie, like apocalypse and superheroes, and we're like, okay, let's do something more. Like we took everything at face value. Like with Limitless, it was like good guy versus bad guy. Only it was like guy surviving on it. Like there's no characters. Like characters are so flat, and they had no motivations and stuff. And like that's kind of when we thought, okay, these characters, they had something to look forward to, and that's kind of like if you did pay attention to Sirenhead, if you cared, like you would notice that it's kind of like, oh, these people like they had a life. And then we thought, okay, maybe we should do things more genuine.
There was a little bit of foreshadowing where the guy's like, we're not gonna leave it. Like we're not just gonna. Our friend group isn't gonna like dissipate.
That was
But it was just foreshadowing him actually being like, yeah, no, I'm fucking leaving you and I'm running.
Yeah, he was like, we'll always stay together, and he was the first one to run. Yeah. He didn't even grab his friend. Yeah, which was kind of a cool idea. Yeah. And then we made what's the next thing after that? Limbo, which was a little bit of a, we tried.
I like the end.
Yeah, it was a cool idea. Apparently, people gasped. When
really?
They saw it. Yeah.
Nice.
But then, the Moment Film Festival happening, and we should talk about the original Moment script, the banana robbery. I don't know how to get the detail that we can get into, but maybe we don't talk about it. I don't know.
We can say it. We might do something with that.
Right, because we're like, maybe we'll still do something with this. So originally with Moment, before COVID, or during like 2019 Moment, we were going to make a film, and we're like, okay, this time we'll do something funny. Like we always do such serious shit. Let's do something funny. That,
and I know we have yet to actually do it, but we will.
Honestly,
you guys just wait.
The next thing we were going to do was supposed to be like funny, and it's turned into something that isn't funny.
Unfortunately.
It's just how we roll, I guess. Yeah. But it was a pretty fun, like it was actually a pretty good script. It was stupid, and like I just had a lot of fun with it. And then when this Moment Film Festival came around, we were like, they have this new category where you can do 15-minute films instead of 3. So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe we can do something a little bit longer. And I think I told Ian beforehand, we were like trying to come up with ideas to film for like, we'd like play Sea of Thieves or Minecraft every once in a while. I'd be like, okay, like what if we did something like this? And we just like kind of pitch each other ideas. And I said like some kind of monster survival kind of thing. And I think the big thing was I was like, it'd be cool if like we get you in like tattoo sleeves and like machine guns, and like it's just something cool we could do, and like you get you in the back of a truck. And then we're like, okay, let's just do it for Lapse. Like, no point not to do it. Like it's our most like fully thought out idea, so we might as well just do it for Lapse. Yeah. And we started to build this kind of script around. It started with Ian's character and Cam's character to kind of like searching a house and finding this monster, and then they both die at the end. And then it turned into, okay, like that's kind of everything we make. Let's like we said before, let's give these characters,
bless you.
Let's give these characters motivations and emotions. People are dying out there. I don't know if you know that.
That's okay. We're safe in here.
The zombie apocalypse has begun. Oh. What we're talking about.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be cool.
This would be probably one of the. You have arrows.
This would be like in the history books because it's being recorded.
We wouldn't be able to upload in time though.
Yeah, we could. If I do it like right now.
Truth.
And so so we thought, okay, let's do something with better writing, more mature.
You gestured to me when you were thinking more mature.
I was assuming you're gonna hit a button. More mature. I was assuming you were gonna hit a button. So I was like,
thanks.
Yep. Very good. So yeah, we made Lapse.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. So yeah, it was a fun idea. It was kind of one of the things where it was like, I think it's our best like layout of a story. Like we had like all these payoffs and tensions
and this is my genuine thought.
Whoa.
Hot take. No. This is my genuine thought. I think that each video we make get a little bit better.
That's bold, Ian. That's a bold statement right there.
I think so.
That's a bold
I
statement.
think just a tiny bit, like an increment better, in a certain aspect where it may fault on some things. It does a bit better in something else.
You are correct in that point.
I'm not thinking as an overall video story, everything. It's just boom, this is better than the last. But each one, I think,
It's a little bit better. And I think
like Limbo, hot take here. I think some of the camera shots, well, not necessarily shots, but the just composition, lighting was better than Sirenhead.
I would agree with that.
Even though the story was shit and the acting was shit. And everything about that, other than than the lighting was shit, it still did better than Sirenhead when it came to lighting. Because that fire was not because the hat had the shadow.
Yeah, the thing was that we filmed the Sirenhead part like in 3 different days.
Yeah,
and also like the only light we had was one light with a T-shirt on top of it, and like it just like And then with Limbo, then we got the apertures and we had all this other stuff, and like we had a crew, and like it worked differently, but still understood my camera a little bit better by that point. It was Sirenhead was like, everything you learn from the last one, it makes you better at the next one. So then we kind of went a little bit backwards with Lapse, where it was like, all right, we kind of learned how to use the black magic. Let's just use a phone now, which is a little bit like, bruh. And there's some shots in Lapse I don't love, but it's like there's a part of me where it's like, it was on like literally there's nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
But it was a good script. It was a good idea. And it was something where it was like, I think that's the thing we've had with the most amount of actors, right?
So, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time. Fun for all. Well, it was great. And apparently,
I've never been on live television before.
Apparently, I don't watch the news.
I don't watch this shit.
I don't watch this shit. I don't watch Lapse. I don't watch Limitless Cinematic.
I don't watch Limbo.
Apparently.
What do you think of Limbo, dude? Well, it was great.
Well, it was great.
But apparently
the brother was dead the whole time.
The script was shit.
And apparently the script was shit. And apparently
I've never seen a Limbo Cinematics film before. But apparently they're pretty shit.
Apparently
my grandpa only watches final visuals.
Apparently they're just depressing.
But apparently
some people like it. Well, it was great. What do you think about the recent Far North Visuals video? Well, it was great.
Limitless is shit.
Limitless is shit.
I just like I don't know why, but I always imagine the kid just saying shit instead of whatever he's
I don't
supposed
watch
to say.
this yeah.
I always think he's saying, I don't watch this shit.
Hey, have you seen Limbo? I don't watch this shit. Well, did you see the new Far North Visuals video? Well, it was great. They did a lot of edits.
What'd you think of their COVID film?
Well, it was great. Every time I turn on the TV, my grandpa turns it on. And apparently, it got a lot of views, but apparently they didn't make any money because they were scared half to death and used copyrighted music.
That's good. You calling them out?
Yeah. Fuck you, Far North Visuals.
They're gonna sue us.
I know, right? They have the money.
They're an official company.
Oh right, yeah. We had a podcast. No.
You had one chance, Ian.
We had a podcast with them. They're not here to clap, so I'll clap for them. We had a podcast with them. The footage, not even the footage got correct. We decided it would be a fun idea to try drinking while doing the podcast.
I have some of the video I can throw in over.
If you just have like a runaway joke or something to show how poorly it ended up.
Yeah.
We tried doing a thing called the Centurion, which was you take a shot of beer every minute for 100 minutes. So I was trying to tell a story.
Sorry.
I was trying to tell a story, and every single minute I had to stop the story and take a shot. And I would just, me of course being a terrible storyteller, every time I would have to restart. I would backtrack and be like, anyway, so we were here, shot. Okay. Anyway, we were.
And then I was drinking stout, so it was like I was drinking bread.
Yeah, you just had a loaf of bread in your stomach.
It was either Ian telling a story or looking at me, just being like.
I remember one specific moment where I hope it's recorded, where I look at you and I go, "You good?" And Noah just dies.
There was a point where like I took a shot, and I was like in my own head, like it was a really it was so subtle. I'm surprised you guys got it, but I just like took a deep breath, like in my just, like that. You guys were just like,
oh, that really look at you. Like,
yeah, and I was like,
yeah. So if there's any of that footage, we might as well throw it in. This is just gonna be a random,
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish this podcast was more upbeat, but
we've had a lot of slower ones recently.
Yeah. I might be able to kind of mix and match and make it a little bit more fast-paced.
I think it's kind of just a sign of a sign of the times,
Just like the song.
Beautiful man, great penis. Yeah, it's just, it's not like a bunch of bad stuff's happening. It's just we are very chill right now. We're just kind of getting off of the whole kick of just
man.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of shtick. It's a chill
And you know
time
what?
for us
This
right
is
now.
kind of similar to what the new phase is gonna be. Very real and all. But of course, there's gonna be also more funny stuff then, because we're going to be having a lot of fun stories, because we're going to be living in a bigger city. We're going to be trying to live by ourselves for the first time in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hoot. And also, we're thinking about doing like little side shows on that channel of just like short little half-hour podcasts of just movie review and fun stuff. Or it'll be fun. We're going to mix it up. We're going to do like taste test stuff and whatever. But this one's just kind of catching everyone up to base, letting you know that we're changing, we're moving locations.
Little reminder, just if you caught it at the beginning, we're changing channels, just so you know.
Yeah.
Little reminder, everything from Limitless Conversations is moving to the channel Limitless Conversations.
I don't know if we're ever gonna do another podcast until we move. Maybe, who knows? I think that would be a fun one to do, is talking about the moving process, if we have any fun stories with that. And then we'll be able to talk about Montreal there too.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of thinking it would be kind of fun to do a podcast on the plane.
That would be hilarious.
But we
just whisper the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be difficult, but it could be fun.
That would be really funny.
We would just have to bring all the equipment.
It would be really funny though. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to Limitless Conversations. Yeah, I'll take a ginger. Like a ginger ale.
Yeah.
You don't have fucking ginger ale?
We still have the handheld mics, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
We can do that, and when the person comes by to give us food, we're like, "How are you today?"
just interview.
Yeah. Please keep that out of my face.
Anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. See you guys. But yeah, basically, that's kind of it.
Life's a changing. It's time you
Ian
change.
and I
We
are-
change too. Not you. You don't
Time
have.
we change
Never
too.
change.
Never change.
Never
Never forget
change.
who you are. Yeah, we got like one more film before we move that we're gonna kind of post on Limitless before we make the big move. Aside from that, that's kind of where our future's going. Little update on what's been going on. So I guess we will see you then. Don't forget to check the other channel out if you want to stay up to date with our lives. This is goodbye.
I will remember.
Is there like a sad one on here? No. Let's just go through them.
Yeah, this is what you guys are gonna be missing if you don't subscribe to the Limitless Conversations channel.
Okay. A happy one.
For when we're
When
applauding
announcements or
a
something.
guest.
Or when we're like, we paid our rent.
We managed to scrounge up. We looked in the sofa and found a nickel.
And one in my belly button.
That's when Oscar talks about his belly button.
Yeah.
And this is like, we saw someone jump off a building today.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is like when Jada's pissed off. She's like, Ian forgot to wash a dish today.
Yep.
Or when I bring a girl over and she leaves immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like,
Are you scared? We're trying to film.
yeah. Quiet on set. This is
When Ian is peeing and he gets a little on the toilet bowl.
yeah.
Yep.
And this is what we'll be hearing when we're trying to sleep at night. Constantly outside because we're living in downtown Vancouver.
It'll be a fun time.
And this will be probably what we'll be hearing from next door.
That's the cat.
The cat.
Yeah.
I'm assuming our neighbor's gonna have a cat.
Yeah.
And
they don't have a cat. God damn, I
yeah,
don't know what they're
and
doing.
this is what the we can use when we talk about how much rent costed that month.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is for when we're gonna announce whether we got evicted or not. Yay, we did.
got evicted. Right?
And
Right.
then oh, I remember what this one is now.
Okay.
No, I just trying to think of what sound it made.
Oh.
And then
What's this next one? What is it?
oh no, you can
You want me to do it?
try. Do you remember? It's like
Oh, the music one? So that one we are going to use just for all you listeners at home that are so excited for this new phase.
yeah, when are we gonna use this one, Oscar?
We're going to use this one when we...
Fuck.
Yep. This one, whenever Ian talks about Haley Steinfeld.
Of course, naturally.
Mhm.
When Haley Steinfeld comes over. Because she finally got my emails. Please.
Or when we talk about any tasty burgers for that matter. This one is for when I got an idea about how to pay our rent this week.
Yeah. We
OnlyFans.
rob a bank.
At gunpoint.
Oh.
Just joking. And then next one. This is what I say. Jada, don't watch this part. This is what I say when Ian's new girlfriend Haley Steinfeld comes over.
That's what. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's what happens when she sees that I'm hitting. Jada finds out.
Oh.
That's me getting thrown in.
Thrown out the window.
Yeah. This one is inevitably
Okay.
with this new podcast. Ian and I and Jada are gonna be living together. There's gonna be some drama here and there, and we're not afraid to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we're talking about the new Venom movie. I don't know, and Ian's talking about it, and I go, you know what, Ian, I'm fucking sick of you just not doing the dishes.
Yeah.
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 You can do the last two.
This is when Jada's complaining about Oscar's stinky little poo poo that he left in the toilet.
Sorry. I'll take over this one. We that doesn't happen.
I don't
when-
shit.
Every time Jada tries to chime in with something, when she feels like being included, we're just gonna.
Oh, that's good.
Talk over her like that.
Yeah.
And she'll try again. Nope.
Actually, Oscar, as I was saying, I think I have a very important stance on women and their
Mhm.
rights. Actually, being
that
a
is
woman, I
important,
think
of
it's
course,
very
yeah.
nice to have a woman. You can spam that one, huh?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's the only one you can. They know we want to. You can do the last one. My treat.
And we will be using this one.
First, do the drum roll for saying what this last one will be. Because after that, this episode is over.
And that'll be the end of Limitless Conversations for Limitless Cinematics.
Yep. It's emotional.
This one is when we're talking about all the food we wasted our money. This one is when we're talking about all the food we wasted our money on.
That's wonderful.
And that's all, folks. Thank you.
Through that.
Imagine.
If only
Imagine. Oh.
our favorite film. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
sticking
much.
around for all these years. All these people that commented, talk about Scott Pilgrim. I'm sorry we never really got to it.
We
It's been
never
so
did.
many years. I'm sorry we never got to it.
They're gone.
We
by
don't
now.
care.
We don't want to
Nope.
watch it again. We've
Nope.
both seen it already.
Nope.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen the movie. I
Yep.
enjoyed the movie.
Michael Cera makes me sexually confused, so I don't watch it anymore.
You got a little Michael Cera thing going on here with the mustache
I've been
right
trying.
now. I like it. I like it.
I told you it gets me sexually confused. I thought if I look more like him, maybe I could fix
Maybe
that
I'll
problem.
try. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
Thank you for watching though. Anyways, even though we don't do it, like, we will see you.
I
when we
promise
do.
you. This is a promise. I don't know if I want to stick to this promise.
Just say it. Throw it on the wall. See if it sticks.
If you comment right now with a video link on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
that you want us to react to, a video that is shorter than 5 minutes. We will react to it on the next podcast.
If you send us, if somebody comments by the point it is by the end of October, I will post this before. I'll post this like by next week. By the end of October, if anybody posts what we need to talk about for the next podcast, we will make one final podcast for Limitless Cinematics,
And we will
do what is they ask. But aside from that, this is it.
We're not going to guarantee how long we'll talk about it.
Could be a 3-minute podcast.
We'll say, hey, that's dope. That's
Hey,
good point.
check
you
out
made
my
there.
dick. Yeah, we'll cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee.
That's our guarantee. You comment by the
Take
end of
that.
October. Take it to the bank. It's over there.
I was going to say take it to the bank and do
There we
the
go.
cha-ching. Okay, it's all good. We're on the same.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start the podcast over since now that we're finally synced up. I was just going to do that.
This shit. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm not gonna do it.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Boston. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that thing that Jim Carrey says in that one movie?
And in case I don't see you.
Good morning, good afternoon,
evening,
good
and good night. Yeah, there we go.
See you guys when you're older.